Hello everybody. Today I'd like to explain about the build I've used for the previous video about my journey in Breach League. The build is called Low Life Essence Drain. I'll be covering the basics of this build and why it's so great and how to build it and the weaknesses to this build. I'll put timestamps in the description and annotations if you feel like skipping certain parts of this guide. This build is really powerful. It can clear most, if not all, content in this game. Like in the previous video, I cleared Shaper, I cleared the Guardians. You can clear Uber Aziri. You can even do the current Breach bosses. So let's begin. We are using the skill called Essence Drain. It's a projectile spell that does chaos damage on hit, as well as applying a debuff, a damage over time debuff on the enemy that hits. Modifiers to the spell damage applies to this dot as well. By all accounts, it's more of a single target spell and it's really boring, really. But it does a whole ton of damage. For the first support gem we are linking this to, it would be Pierce, because this is a really good quality of life gem. It gives us a chance to pierce, which means this single target spell can potentially hit multiple targets, which is very nice, and it also provides more projectile damage. Secondly, we use Void Manipulation for more chaos damage. We don't use elemental damage, so we don't really suffer from the reduced elemental damage negative side of it. Next, we use Control Destruction for the more damage spell damage modifier. We don't really care about crits, so reduced crit chance doesn't hurt us at all. For the fifth link, we would use Rapid Decay for more damage over time. If you can get a 6th link, we would use Empower. If you're rich enough, you can use a level 4 one to get even more damage, but a level 3 Empower works just as well. Plus 2 level to all gems helps to increase the support gem modifiers as well as increasing the base damage of our Essence Drain to help scale damage better. You can swap out Pierce for a slow projectile if you want more damage. Now, to combo Essence Drain, we use Contagion. It is an AoE skill that will inflict a dot debuff to enemies caught inside the radius, and when an enemy dies, the effect will spread. Essence Drain's dot effect can spread through this skill, so this is our primary way of clearing trash mobs. We link it to faster casting and increase AoE. Faster casting to help smoothen out the combo process because we want to throw out that purple ball of doom as soon as possible, and increase AoE to help catch more mobs inside the contagion radius as well as the spreading radius when the enemy dies. For single targeting, we use the Wither Totem setup. Wither is a skill that has a stacking debuff that slows enemies as well as making them take increased chaos damage. So when we are fighting against a boss, we drop down this totem, the boss gets slow and they take increased chaos damage, which is really nice for us, and watch them burn basically. For support gems, we use faster casting and of course the spell totem support gem. Next is curses. Because we took the Whispers of Doom as well as Malediction and Ascendancy, we can have up to 3 curses. For our primary 2 curses, we're going to be using Enfeeble and Temporal Chain, socketed with Blasphemy. This is a very defensive setup. Nearby enemies will become slower and they do a lot less damage. Now bosses do have resistance against curses, but even if it's like a 10 to 15% slow from the Temporal Chain, it can be very advantageous, as shown from bosses like Phoenix and Hydra, which we can easily dodge the attacks. Our third curse is going to be Vulnerability for the increased damage over time. We can either manually self-cast it or use a Witchfire Brew flask. I use both for different scenarios. For instance, when you're in a breach, you would like to stay close to the edge of the breach, and monsters will be spawning and pouring out of it. You want to kill them as soon as possible, but you don't really have time to manually self-cast vulnerability, so Witchfire Brew would instantly apply that vulnerability effect to them, and you can kill them easily. For auras, this is why we use Chevron's Wrapping, because when chaos damage does not bypass energy shield, we have a resource we can use on our hands, which is called life. By using Clarity and Discipline together with Blood Magic, we can reserve our life pool, in which we can benefit from Pain Attunement. Clarity is used for mana regeneration, while Discipline for energy shield. Pretty self-explanatory. Now for movement, we use Whirling Blade, coupled together with Faster Attack and Fortify. Faster Attack helps us to recover from the animation a lot quicker, and Fortify gives us a 20% damage mitigation if we hit something with the Whirling Blade, which is pretty nice. I also use a Lightning Golem to benefit from both the attack speed and for Whirling Blade, as well as cast speed for my spells. There is still one more gem slot that I haven't mentioned. I use Rallying Cry for mana regen. It can be useful at times as I don't need to be so reliant on my mana potions, but in certain maps that cannot regenerate HP and mana, it can be useless except for the taunt effect. Another gem you can put in is Vow Discipline in replacement for Rallying Cry. Vow Discipline is really good in certain situations where your energy shield can be really low when you're taking a lot of damage. As we all know, energy shield cannot recharge if we have been hit for the past 2 seconds, so having something that can recover our energy shield is really great. Now, moving on to gearing. We have a few very mandatory gear. Mainly it's Chevron's wrapping. It is an energy shield based body armor and is primarily used for low life builds. Because of that, chaos damage does not bypass energy shield. Consuming Dark, increased spell damage is nice. Increased intelligence, also nice. The ability to poison our enemies is the key thing we're looking for here. It's because we are double dipping the dot effect from our skill gem in Essence Drain. But in certain cases where Hydra and Chimera are poison immune, you can change this dagger for an ES shield if you want, but I never changed them, so it's really up to you. Next weapon we're using would be an Essence of Delirium weapon, primarily for the decay effect. I bought my dagger for like about 40C maybe. Just like poison, we can double dip on its effect with our skill gems. So now we're applying 3 damage over time effects on the enemy. Lastly, our Chayula cannot be stunned is extremely important because the enemy's chance to stun on you is based on the damage done to us and our already low health, so trust me, you do not want to get stunned with such a low life. Other than that, you just need to get ES related gear like this 200 ES gloves, this 300 ES helm, 190 ES boots, but this boost does have 30% movement speed. But when you find gears like these, sometimes they may not have the resist you want, so you want to try and cap out resist with rings. Rings you want to try and look for strength as well, because you require at least 111 strength to max level your blood magic, support gems, your fortify and stuff like that. So a good ring with a lot of strength and a lot of resist is very welcomed. Get a crystal belt for a lot of energy shield. I got try resist on it, more life so I can reserve more health, but more energy shield would be preferable, and that's about it. Side note, you can get, because in Breach you can get the Blessing of Chayula. You can upgrade our Chayula into a Blessing of Chayula, so it provides an extra 60% more chaos resist and 20%, and the reduced maximum life effect it had before in our Chayula is now converted into energy shield. So yeah, you can see I have a base of 8k energy shield already, which is ridiculous, and I have about 75% chaos resist right now, 91% chaos resist, so I never have to worry about having negative resistance in Merciless. So yeah, but this thing is pretty expensive. It's about 4 exalt when I bought the blessing to upgrade my Chayula. So yeah. This is for level 85. There's still a lot of room for improvement if you guys wish to do whatever you guys want. I'll cover that later. We take more energy shield, more increased AoE. Primarily you don't have to rush this area first. I would generally go somewhere along the line down here and here. Take life and energy shield. This jewel socket, a lot of people know, you use the energy from within to convert all these life nodes into energy shield. So you have like a good 16% here, 8%, 8%, 8%. You come down here, you take more energy shield, more spell damage. Jewel sockets you can take at the later part of the game. It's not really important to take them early on, but we move up here, we take more mana if you want, more energy shield. More mana is really good because our skill costs really a lot of mana, and this is really nice to have. +1 curse, so we could have an extra curse. We can take this first. We don't have to go down to the ascendancy to take malediction yet, because it's not really viable to have +2 curse so early on. You only need 2 curse. You don't need 3 curse like so early in the game. So 2 curse is good enough. Take all the corruption note here. You take more chaos damage, more damage over time. You move down here. Pain Attunement, obviously for low life, more damage. Arcane Vision, this helps to not screw up our light radius, because we'll be reserving our life. Energy Shield, more life. Chaos damage, cast speed with chaos spells, chaos damage, chaos damage, chaos damage. Simple. Damage over time. We come down here, we'll take all this projectile damage notes, we'll come and then we'll get 20 more dexterity, more movement speed, more chaos damage, more damage over time, and stuff like that. More chaos damage here as well, and another jewel socket. So this is primarily our tree at level 85. You can take other things like Blood Siphon is pretty okay. It gives you 20 strength, which is very much needed because we don't really take much strength notes here, and primarily we only get them from our jewel, our rings or our amulets. So this is +20 strength, can help with your gearing a little bit, and we do benefit from the maximum life because we're using low life, and increasing our maximum health pool can allow us to reserve more mana through clarity, the blood magic and clarity combo. So yeah, for more mana regen. What else? Ascendancy, right. You don't have to take malediction. I said before, we don't need to take malediction so early on because we don't need that extra 3rd curse in the game until we go to the end game stage. So I would generally take Wicked Ward first because 100 energy shield is really good, and as well as the energy shield recharge is not interrupted if you recharge recently. This can really help you recharge your shield, because every time you take damage, your energy shield will not recharge. So yeah, this is really good. You can take Void Beacon next for the next 2 ascendancy. 20% less chaos resistance. That's really nice. 25% reduction in health regen. That's pretty okay. 3rd ascendancy, we take Profane Bloom. Enemies that you have curse, when killed, they have 20% chance to explode, dealing a quarter of their 25% of their maximum health as chaos damage. Yeah, and 10% increased chaos damage. Really nice to have. And then when you finally get to Uber Lab, you can take your malediction primarily for that 1 extra curse, because that gain 4% of your non-chaos damage. As chaos damage is almost entirely useless because we have no other kind of damage except for chaos damage. So yeah, this is our skill tree for level 85. Bandits, we will take passive, 2 passive notes from normal and merciless, while in cruel we'll take 5% cast speed just for slice of life. For when you reach beyond level 85, you can take, like I said, you can take Blood Siphon for more strength and life. You can take Nimbleness is pretty okay. You can get more cast speed and more movement speed, which is nice. Alchemist can also be really good because Thrust in this game is amazing. And well, this is not really needed, but if you want, you can just straight up just take more energy shield. More energy shield, I mean, what can go wrong, right? I think more energy shield is really good. Jewels, you would want to start looking for a spell damage, energy shield, chaos damage, damage over time kind of jewels. If you can get maximum life, it's pretty okay, but it's better to have these 4 kinds of mods. Now, pros and cons. This build is very powerful. It can run and clear a lot of content in this game. It does really good damage at endgame. Because of its damage being purely chaos, you never have to worry about reflect maps or reflect mob. You also never need to worry about not being able to leech from your enemies, status, ailment, immunity, and physical damage reduction, etc. You can run most mods that the maps can offer. Cons. It's not exactly a very cheap build, to be precise. The primary gear we need is Chevron's wrappings, which can cost about 5 exalt right now in the league. I bought my 5 link at about 8 exalt at the start of the league and 14 exalts for 6 link. But it is the only gear that is really expensive that you actually need for this build. Map mods to avoid would be Hexproof, because Hexproof basically removes all our defensive curse setup, our Enfeeble, our Temporal Chain, which makes us really vulnerable to damage. 75% reduction to curse effectiveness on mobs is also a bit dangerous. You can run it, but at your own risk as well. 75% reduction is a whole damn lot, and it makes your curse extremely weak and they practically do nothing at all. So yeah, run it by your own risk. Temporal Chain maps can also be dangerous. It hinders our movement by a lot. In Power of Exile, the best way to mitigate damage is to not take it at all. So slowing us down means it's harder to dodge, especially for skills like Whirling Blade, which makes it so that it takes longer to recover from the animation. It also slows down the casting speed of both Contagion and Essence Drain. It'll take a really long time to cast both at one go, so you'll be standing still for a lot more longer trying to cast both skills, and it's just dangerous and an overall unpleasant experience. Really, I wouldn't suggest running Temporal Chains. Cannot regen maps. This isn't a terrible map mod, it's more of a limitation on our quality of life. Things like Zealot Oaths is useless here, so you can take that Divine Sorrow flask out, it's useless. And you'll be pressing your mana potions a lot more. Try bring 2 mana potion for Guardian bosses just in case. And that is all for this build. I hope you guys enjoy and good luck in the Breach League.